Good morning. It's Candace Lee from Candace Lee Fired Up, and I'm here to get started on my meal prepping for this morning. It's Sunday. I'm going to take about an hour maybe to put a few things together. If you jump on now and are with me, please feel free to ask questions, comments, show me what you're doing. We'd love to see what meal prepping you're doing as well. And if you come on later, feel free to click replay or hashtag replay and put your comments in and questions or anything, and I will come back and answer your questions as you bring them on, or just message me as well. Okay, so we're gonna get started. I'm gonna actually start with some rice first. So I have our multi-purpose pot, which is awesome, and I got some rice. I'm using brown, and oh, here it is. I'm gonna make about 4 cups just to get us through the week, and it's about 3/4 of a cup for that, and then also basically double the amount, right? So of your water, and I'm already using hot water to kind of speed it up a little bit. There we go. And then for seasoning, I'm actually going to put in vegetable broth. You could use chicken, beef, or whatever it is you like. For Epicure's vegetable broth, you just need 1.5 teaspoons per cup of water. So I'm just going to put in 2, because I'm actually going to add a little bit something different, which is herb and garlic. So again, I'm going to put about 2 teaspoons of the herb and garlic. And just because I want to be a little fancy today, I'm going to actually put a bit of saffron inside. You don't need very much, which is why I get so very little. Just a pinch. There we go. Give it some color. You could use turmeric too, that would be awesome for the color. All right. There we go. It's all mixed up in there, and I'm just gonna put it on the stove. All right. The next thing I'm gonna actually do is get started on a dessert, or that is, I've got 2 cups worth of raspberries, and I'm going to make some jam. So I use our chia jam. You don't need to put any sugar. So basically it's on the side. It says 2 cups of fresh fruit or frozen fruit, 2 tablespoons of the mix, and then you put it into the microwave about for 3 or 4 minutes. Not that much. There we go. Okay. So I'm just going to throw that into the microwave now. Okay, so that'll take 3 or 4 minutes, and then it just needs to set and we're good to go. So that one's done, and the rice is done. Let's get rid of that. Okay, next up we can actually get started on is a black bean tomato meal, in essence. I use it not so much for making like a single meal, but adding on to something. So I'll use it for wraps for my lunch, or add it as like a bit of that towards my Nourish Bowl or something like that, and then just add some flavor and a bit of spice in that. So this one is in the frying pan or skillet, or saucepan or something. You want your can of black beans, and you're gonna put some tomatoes in, and whatever, however you like it. So basically it's this one here, and in a frying pan medium heat, it's this seasoning with a can of crushed tomatoes, a can of black beans, and a cup of water. I'm not going to use crushed tomatoes. I'm going to use a bit of the San Marzano and some cherry tomatoes, and use that instead. So I'm just going to chop up some tomatoes just so they don't burst all over me when I'm cooking them. And you could like change it up a little bit. You don't have to do exactly as the recipe is. It's whatever you might have. Sorry, I'm trying to like give you full view of everything, and then I'm not coming into the camera, so it's all fun. All right. Basically, I'm going to do a cup of these cherry tomatoes, and probably a cup of the tomato sauce here. It's a good thing to have these kind of things in your pantry for meals like this or any other meal you might want to quickly make. So if you have some tomato sauce or crushed tomatoes or black beans and things like that, you can see how easily it is to quickly make something up. And if you have like tomatoes that are on the way out maybe, or because of the way we actually grow our vegetables and stuff now, some things don't have a lot of flavor because they're obviously picked before they're ripened, so they don't get all the flavors. So sometimes you get some cherry tomatoes that maybe don't taste as well as you'd like. So that would be a good opportunity to throw it into a sauce or a mix, and that way it's simply just, you'll get the background out, but you won't have to worry about the tomatoes maybe don't taste so great fresh or in a salad, but they'll taste just fine in a sauce or something. Okay, so I'm just going to mix it up a bit and get it onto the stove. All right, that started boiling, so I'm going to turn it down. All right. Okay, so that was 3 minutes in the microwave with the raspberries. And a spoon. So now all I do is let it sit, and it'll congeal up because of the chia seeds that are in there, and I can use it for desserts or on pancakes or anything like that. Okay, so there you go, all ready. So you can put it into a mason jar or a meal prep jar or something and just have it aside. And of course now I'm like out of space. So here we go. All right, so that was that. That was that. Okay, so next is to have some meals prepared for the rest of the week as well. So I've chopped up some chicken into small pieces, chicken thighs, and I've chopped up pork tenderloin into small pieces as well. It's a great combination for us to make a quick stir fry with the rice that we have. You know, an Asian-inspired fried rice kind of idea, or again, add it into a wrap or into a salad or a nourish bowl or anything like that, or even soup or something. So there we go. So the first one I'm going to do is actually the chicken. I'm going to make it teriyaki seasoning. So 2 tablespoons of that with some soy sauce. I'm just going to check down what I've got going. I've done medium-high heat for the black bean and tomatoes. And I'm going to have to add a little bit of water as it had said. So I'm just going to do that. Using hot water is a great idea. So if you have a kettle, have that prepared and ready to go so that you don't bring down the temperature or whatever it is you're cooking. This would be great in, let me set a timer. Don't forget that I have the rice on. So the black beans and tomatoes would be great also in like maybe a cookie quesadilla, or on top of your own, oh yeah, even on top of like you've made a salad or you've made some chicken or something and you're gonna add it all together, and it's a great side or a great add-on. I, as I said, love using it for my lunches, so for my wraps or for a nourish bowl. So I might take to work like a little bit of the sauce with some vegetables and a wrap, and I just fold it all up, put it in, and then when I get to the office ready for lunch, I can just mix it all, make it all together while I'm there. Okay, so we need a bit of soy sauce. And then I'm just going to mix it all up. We're not going to cook this right away, like we'll cook it when we're ready to eat, but it'll be for this week's meals. So we might do it tomorrow night, or maybe one more night, but pretty much, yeah, it will be within the next 24 to 48 hours we will be eating this one. And if for some reason something happens, we can always make it up and then put it aside for later. So there we go. So chicken teriyaki is ready to go for, say, tomorrow night's dinner with the rice. Next would be our pork. Now this is, I'm using actually an old seasoning, as in it's retired. It just happens to be my other half's favorite seasoning with pork. But you can use whatever you like. So if you want to use maybe sasvaki or the lemon dilly or something, that would be awesome. So this is only going to take about 5 minutes. Not very long because it's just the black beans and tomatoes. I'm going to turn it down a little bit. The rice is looking good. Okay. Yeah, so that's what I'm going to use. But there's so many flavors out there that you could use. You don't have to use, you could use whatever your favorite is. Oh, a good one would be maybe sage and apple. That would be a yummy one. Spice to use on this. Maybe you got it last season or you've got some now. So basically, yeah. So for me, it's whatever you happen to like. And if you don't eat meat, that's great. There are so many things you can do with these seasonings as well, or whatever it is you have. So like jackfruit or spaghetti squash or your rice, brown rice has got some protein. Like there's so many things. So just use the same seasonings. There's nothing wrong with using like a pulled chicken seasoning or pulled pork seasoning on your vegetables, your plant-based protein. It's just seasonings. There's nothing animal product in any of that. All right, so that in essence is ready to go as well. Oops, missing a lid. Okay, so those two are done. And for for the pork, hi Lisa. For the pork, we're actually going to make it like a Chinese inspired fried rice. So we'll have the pork with the sauce with some crushed pineapple or fresh pineapple, whatever you like, with the rice that I'm making, and then we'll make it into that as well. And then of course we have to add in all the vegetables. So celery, cucumber, zucchini, carrots, spinach, squash, whatever you got, throw that all in there and you can make a quick stir fry. So the rice will be already prepared, so I'm making 4 servings, so that will be made and we can portion it out for the next few meals. If you're someone who eats rice all week, make a lot more and then you can quickly heat that up. We don't eat it every day, so I'm only making 4 servings. So the protein is ready. 3 versions of protein. So I got the beans and I have the pork and I have the chicken. All right, so meat, that's done. So there we go. Black beans, tomatoes, in a nice seasonings, and that will go great for my lunches. The chia jam is ready, and yeah. So of course, your vegetables. I wash them. I don't know if I get you dizzy. Apologize. Okay, so I basically have a tub of water where I put my vegetables in with either some lemon essential oil or some apple cider vinegar or whatever you like, and then it'll clean it up. And then I use a rolling rack here on top of that, or whatever you might have, or you can just lay it out on these things, cloths. Wow, I still can't think of the word. Anyway, lay it out on the cloth and then dry it, and then you can put it away in the fridge. I recommend you doing that because if you put it away wet, it'll still have the same concept as if you were in a bag with all the moisture in there, and it'll wow, words gone, Lisa, completely gone. You basically waste your veggies because it won't stay as fresh as long. So basically get them washed, get them dried, get them into either airtight container or whatever it is they say. Like root vegetables, they say don't do that, let it be loose. But your carrots and stuff like that, you could put them in an airtight type container. Okay. So in essence, that's what I'm going to do is chop up a bit of vegetables to go into the fried rice when we're ready. I have celery and some carrots, and I'm going to do that. All right. Do you have any questions, Lisa? You're the same way? Awesome. I'm assuming you're talking about drying your veggies, or are you talking about the fact that I couldn't think of words this morning? All right, so part of meal prepping can be like your full-on meals. It can be your breakfast, though I am not making my breakfast because I did last week. I made a good batch of the superhero cookies that I really love. So I'm still pretty stocked up for those. A whole bunch in the freezer of superhero cookies. And they're 20 minutes or so when you have them, and they're good to go for breakfast or snacks. It's got protein powder and oats and some dried fruit and dried seeds or nuts, whatever it is that you like. And yeah, that's what I have for breakfast. And then for lunch, as I said, I'm going to do like the black bean and tomatoes on a wrap. I'm going to have a bit of Nourish Bowl. It'll be leftovers actually for the rice dishes that we're going to have this week. So yeah, I've got quite a few options. Oh, yeah, lots of words all the time. Oh well, it's kind of what happens to us all, right? All right, let me just check on the rice. Looks almost done. I'm just going to turn it off the heat and let it finish cooking on its own. Oh, for sure, I'll give you the recipe. Welcome and joining us to this morning. Yeah, I will post recipes of all the things I'm making when I'm finished. You'll be able to find them here. And then I'll give you my little tips of how I switch it up a little bit. So if you're someone who doesn't use oil or anything like that, you can use like broths or water just to cook with. And if you're vegan or vegetarian, again, it's whatever vegetables or plant-based protein you like to use. So if maybe you want to have tofu, you can do the same thing. You can marinate your tofu up or your jackfruit or anything like that ahead of time and have it ready to go. So, a second. So right here, I'm just chopping up some carrots and celery to go into the rice. So I am a person who doesn't particularly like smushy veggies unless it's supposed to be smushy. So I don't tend to throw my vegetables into things until we're going to actually eat them. So for the rice, we'll throw this in when we're quickly frying it up. So I still kind of get my crunchy carrots and celery or radishes or cabbage, whatever it is that you like in your vegetables, or in your meals or whatever it is you're making. Even when I do butter chicken or curries and stuff like that, I might make a double batch, but I'll like put the sauce aside and then put my veggies in just to, so I don't get the smushiness of it all. Okay, so in essence, I got some going on there. I got the meats, proteins are ready, rice is almost finished, black beans and tomatoes are ready, it's just cooling. There are different forms of vegetables out there. One of my favorite is Brussels sprouts, and it's actually, I just realized today that it's actually low on the scale of carbs. Well, it's cabbage, right? But you know, so it's a great substitute for when you want to use things for like a cabbage or something like that. I throw it into our butter chickens, I throw it into our curries, and what I do actually to simplify chop and prep time is I'll throw it in the food processor and get it all sliced up, and then it becomes like having shredded cabbage. If you're not, you want to be someone who likes to like bake them or broil them or anything like that, like maybe with some balsamic vinaigrette, chop them into quarters or halves and roast them, and you can do that. So I'm gonna do both today. I'm gonna actually chop in quarters and have it prepared, and then I'm gonna actually throw it in the food processor for the rest. And the other option thing about this is once you've cut it all up and prepared it, you can throw it in the freezer and then use that as your frozen veggie, which is something you can do with everything, broccoli and all that. So there is that. So that's kind of what I'm gonna be doing today, is preparing little brains. for roasting them in a balsamic vinegar reduction kind of idea. And you could do it if you're a lover of bacon. Totally recommend frying these up with some bacon or some pancetta. So good. All right. Any questions, any comments, anything you guys having problems in the kitchen, or maybe a vegetable that you're like, I don't know what to do with it, or maybe you're looking for something simple. I would say my 3 biggest things to tell you for meal prepping and planning is 1, schedule time to actually like plan. So while you're planning your week, plan what you're eating for the week as well. So if you know you're out and about a lot, don't make big hour-long cooking meals, because you know what will happen. You just won't do it, and you've wasted the food that you bought or that. So like if you know you're running around a lot, make some things that are quick and grab to go. So like overnight oatmeal and grab it and go. Make your own little egg bites, you know. Make your own superhero cookies, as I'll give you the recipe for that, things like that, and you can grab and go. And for lunches, same idea. Get yourself things that you can easily prepare ahead. So I will actually make 3 to 4 Nourish bowls ahead in containers like this or whatever, and then have my vegetables and some protein and some carb or healthy fat or fiber and stuff like that. And then in the morning, I will add in the liquid part of it as I go, and then I'll have that ready. So they won't wilt or anything. They'll last that long, as long as you don't put the dressing and that too close to the lettuce and things like that. So those are things you can do. Dinners, if you're doing exactly what I'm doing now, which is prepping the protein ahead, getting it marinated, get it small bite-sized pieces is like the big thing. You'll be able to quickly come home and make a stir fry or make a curry, or and I'm a one-pot wonder kind of person. I love using the wok and throwing everything together and going. If that's not for you, you can have the rice that we're doing right now aside, and then your protein and your veggies, and you can easily throw that together in maybe like 20 minutes, and then you're able to run out and get what you need to do. So you scheduled your time, right? So you know what appointments you have, you know what meetings you might have, maybe after school events or something. And while you're doing that, you now know what you're gonna have to plan to make meals or snacks and things like that. So the next step is to see what you have at home first. So if you have a nicely stocked pantry, even if you don't have a very big pantry, that's fine. Just 1 can of things, but keep maybe like a list on the fridge of like when you've used it. So I've used up my chickpeas, so then you know that you have to go buy another chickpeas, or you have to buy your black beans, or your coconut milk, or your rice or your pasta or whatever it is, and just keep a running tab. I actually use our groceries app, and it can connect with people that you're sharing the house with. So for example, my other half, he has it on his phone as well, and so if he notices something, he can go into his app. If I notice it, it's in the app, but it's both on the same grocery list so that we don't duplicate. And we normally go grocery shopping together, but sometimes he runs out during the day and grabs something, and he works from home, so he has a little more flexibility with that, but he can go grab it, so that way he doesn't buy stuff he doesn't need, and he doesn't, yeah, that was not nice. He doesn't bother me at the office saying, what do we need? When I'm in a meeting or something like that. So get yourself an app, or use the fridge or whiteboard, and keep track of your groceries that you need to buy, and shop at home first. So if you got food that's maybe you got Brussels sprouts or broccoli or lettuce or spinach in the fridge you need to use up, grab that and use it up. First, look for recipes that it would work with, and it doesn't have to always be perfect. You can just, I love throwing spinach and things like that into, even lettuce, into curries and butter chickens and stuff, because it's just veggie in there and it works up and it's good to go. All right, I missed that one. All right, so I got quartered Brussels sprouts all ready to go, and those would be perfect to roast up or fry up with some balsamic vinaigrette, and put into either put in with some bacon or something, or throw it into the rice And there we go. And then the rest of them, I'm just going to actually do the same thing, take the ends off and stuff, but throw it in the food processor and we're good. And I'll throw it into a freezer bag or something and put it in the freezer, and then I'll have vegetables that I can quickly pull out, again, throw into a quick meal. So one pans is kind of my thing. One pans or one pots simplifies things and helps certain people in my household, aka my other half, to make sure he eats his vegetables. He's great at pulling a protein together, but he's not so awesome at veggies. So what I've done is kind of worked with him on that, whereas I prepare vegetables all chopped up and ready to go, either in the fridge or the freezer, and he can just grab and toss into whatever it is that he's making. And that's kind of why I say, like, shop at home first, because if you have frozen vegetables in your freezer, whether it's broccoli or peas or beans or anything, it's a great way to quickly throw in vegetables, a good healthy portion of it, into whatever it is you're making. Even if you're making mac and cheese, throw in some vegetables and away you go. All right, so you've scheduled your time, you've you've shopped from home, and then the third one is you've gone out and got groceries, right? So, and of course you've gone not hungry, right? And you've stuck to the edges of the grocery store as much as possible, except for those like cans that you might need, anything to stock up on your pantry. And you come home, and then now what? So do you just stuff all your fruit and veggies and everything into the fridge, or do you take it like 30 minutes or so to properly portion things out, maybe try to get them out of their bags, or at least open up the bag, let some of that moisture out, and then when you know when the meal prepping is coming, so hopefully you bought groceries, say, Friday night or Saturday or something like that, and you're doing it Sunday morning, so it's only like a day or a couple of days, then it's okay, throw it into the fridge, and then you'll meal prep it like I did now with the Brussels sprouts. But if you do it in the middle of the week and you don't get your meal prep into like 3 days or more out, then I recommend you spending a bit of time where you get them out of the bags as soon as you can, wash them and dry them, and then put them away. Especially if you get the containers of lettuce and spinach, I recommend putting a piece of paper towel in there, like the box ones, and it'll absorb the moisture and make it help it last longer, so that you can actually get to it. And then it's there. So those are the kind of things that I recommend. And meat, on your meat, if you buy meat, portion it out so that you're not making a whole big thing of chicken or a whole big thing of that, unless that's what you're fine, like unless that's what you're going to do when you get home, like you got a whole bunch of chicken breasts, and you're going to bake them in the oven right away and then freeze them, then that's fine. It's not really my style way of doing it. I portion things out and put them in the freezer, and then I pull them out the night of, the morning of, and when I get home, it's quickly cut them into little pieces and throw them into stir fries or one pans, or even bacon shakes. So we have a great gluten-free bacon shake. It's Southern Bake. Throw some chicken pieces in that, and maybe some pieces of yam or sweet potato or something, and throw them in the oven in like 15 minutes. You've got your own chicken fingers and fries kind of concept. Yeah, so it's kind of what I recommend for you to do. Okay, so dessert. I'm looking around going, I think I missed something. So dessert, chocolate pudding. So that's going to be our dessert for this week. I'm going to use almond milk. This is something you don't actually have to prepare ahead, because it only takes like 10 minutes for our chocolate pudding. But I want to try out our new perfect portion dishes that are available, and see what they're like. And that's why I did the raspberry jam, because that's what's going to go on as a layer with the chocolate pudding. Okay, so some chocolate pudding. And 2 cups of your version of milk. I'm using almond. You can use whole milk, coconut milk, oat milk, whatever you like. Low fat, lactose, and away you go. Or you can mix it up. Some coconut milk with some almond milk or some oat milk. The coconut milk definitely makes it nice and rich. And so if you can see, it's already setting, which is why I love Epicurus pudding. There's a salted caramel and chocolate. And yeah, see, look at that. already set. And then yeah, and then also I can make it whenever I just want a little bit of it. Okay, pretty much it's set. And just so you're aware what's in this, it's literally organic coconut palm sugar, modified tapioca starch, organic cocoa powder, sorry, and sea salt, and that's it. Super good. So I'm gonna use our cute little portion cups that we have. I need a spoon. So if you just go to there's a brush mark in there. That's a quarter cup. If you go above it, it's your half, right? I always get that one wrong. Yeah, quarter below the mark, above, right at the top of the mark is a half. And if you went all the way to the top, it would be 3/4. So then I'm going to do the half. And then I'm going to do, when it sets, I'll just put some of the jam on top and some cocoa sprinkles, and then I have cute little desserts all ready to go. All right, so vegetables are chopped up. I've got protein ready, I've got rice ready, and yeah, and then I've got the black beans. So there is the rice. So I used our vegetable broth, I used the herb and garlic seasoning, and I used a bit of saffron, so that's why it's a little more yellow. And there, so that's rice for a couple of meals. Black beans and tomato, great for wraps, nourish bowls, on your eggs, anything like that. So those are set. So I have lunch, I have dinner, and dinners will be an Asian-inspired fried rice kind of concept. So I've got pork, and I have chicken. Chicken's with teriyaki. Pork is with it's called molte bene, but you can use Italian seasonings. You can use the Savaki seasonings, Greek seasonings, whatever flavors you like. And those are ready to go. The pork's actually going to go with a little bit of pineapple to sweeten it up that way. I've got some chopped up celery and carrots to go into the rice when we're ready to stir fry it up. I'm going to make roasted balsamic quarters of Brussels sprouts as a side, and then I will finish up the rest and throw them in the food processor and put them into the freezer for a later date. And I have a whole bunch of carrots. Those are just drying right now. They're just going to go into a container and either be a snack or a meal or something added on to. And away you go. I already have lettuce and spinach and that in there done already. And now we have a dessert. And I think I got everything. Oh, and the jam. So the jam's great for desserts, or it's great for a breakfast. So on your toast or on your pancakes. And there we go. So let's just say, what time is it? 10:30. Okay, done. There you go, half an hour. And you've got a whole bunch of meals prepared. So literally like that's 1, 2, 3, 4 right here. And then that's lunch and dinners basically set aside. Vegetables are ready to go to anything. I have desserts for 4 days. And the black bean stuff will be also great for at least, for me, because I'm having it for lunch, it'll make the whole week of lunch for me. And the jam will last the week as well. And yeah, so there we go, done. Anyone have any questions? Any comments or anything, feel free to ask or message me. And if you're interested in, like, this was overwhelming for you and you want to get into a little bit more about what more of my tips and hacks are and get some meals, I have my program Fired Up Meal Plan subscription. You get a weekly email where it has the meals for the whole entire week, breakfast, lunch, and dinner, along with grocery lists, along with all the recipes. And you can print it out, put it on your fridge, and know what you're eating and prep along with me. And a group of people who have questions you can ask and be a part of that. And if something I showed you today from Epicure is interesting and you would love to try it, feel free to message me or head over to my website for that, and you can have your own Epicure at home, making it quick 20-minute meals that are all clean. So have a beautiful Sunday, and I hope your week is awesome. I hope you have lots of delicious meals that you've made at home. and I hope to hear from you. So have a beautiful day, and I will talk to you all soon.